Hey Linnea, here's a video from our most recent session in Mexico. You can see that you've got a little bit of front end washout here, and this is exactly what we've been working on together, is this kind of positional element that's causing a bit of washout on the front end occasionally, especially in looser ground like this. And what we want to see on a turn like this is we want to actually see the back wheel drifting and the front not pushing out, obviously. And that's going to be done by actually getting more weight on the front wheel. And right now what's happening is you're just a little bit far back on the bike, and what that's causing is a bit of hand steer. So we're going to take a look through this here. As you come in here, you're actually in super good position here. And what I'd want you to do here is to keep driving forward through the turn. So really keeping that outside knee driving forward. And what we actually see here as you come around here is we actually see you shifting rearward slightly here. Just in this moment, you can see your hips coming back a little bit, okay? So what that's doing as your hips come back there is it's bringing you into a position where your weight is not truly centered over the bottom bracket. So your weight is starting to end up just a little bit behind the bottom bracket, and it's not very much behind the bottom bracket. We have bottom bracket right about in this zone somewhere in here. So what I'd like to see is that you're actually moving forward a little bit more as opposed to moving rearward. And this is going to be something that we want to have happen essentially at the outside knee. So we can see here you've got a bit of knee bend here, which is good, but I would rather see your kneecap driving forward kind of more in this zone here. So just a few inches further forward. And what this is going to do is it's going to push your hips forward and put you in a position where you're just a little bit more up and over the bike. Okay, so we want to push those hips forward, and that is going to come from that cue at the knee. Essentially what happens when we get pretty far back like this is we're not over the bottom bracket, and so we can't truly use our body to steer the bicycle. And this is when we start to steer with the hands, and we're going to see that here. So you're in a position here where you need to make this turn, and what we start to see here is some hand steer. So let's take a look. Look at your hands here. We're going to really see the arms moving and steering the bicycle. You can see that very, very clearly here because the hips haven't been able to steer. So notice that your right hip is not able to lift and push through. We want this hip to be able to lift and push through here, and that's going to allow you to not have to steer from the hands. So a little bit of hand steer here. We can even see that front wheel here actually starting to turn, right? Like the front wheel is starting to turn a little more than we'd actually want to see here, and that's going to result in front wheel washout. As that front wheel turns, you look like you're in a decent spot here, but really what's happening is the bike's starting to wash out, and then we really see that the effects of that starting to cascade here and pull out a nice save here. Again, what I'd rather see here is that back wheel sliding. And this is not intuitive. It might seem like the back wheel would slide more when we've got weight on the back wheel. But what we want is actually to have weight down on the front wheel. And if we have weight down through the front wheel here, what we're going to see is that by getting that weight, that's actually going to slightly unweight the rear wheel, which is a good thing because that's going to allow the rear wheel to drift and scoot around the front. So it's so counterintuitive, but when the going gets slippery like this, when it's a little bit uncertain ground, we want to make sure that we're driving forward to put weight on the front wheel, allowing the rear wheel to rotate around the front. All right, well, I'll look forward to seeing the after video as we practice on this. Okay, have a great day, and we'll talk soon.